So let's jump into it.
You ready for this?
The debate of the century. We're going to be doing some debating, but kind of what we want to get across here is everyone just yells and gets in arguments when you talk about LeBron MJ. We want to show you numbers. You guys can decide what you think of these numbers. But it really does show, of just it'll be interesting to just see the numbers. People can choose who they believe is the GOAT.
Yeah, it's fun digging into these stats. Both of these guys are so incredible. There's some crazy stats for both of them. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be up for debate forever. I don't think there's anything LeBron can do that'll cement him as the GOAT, and there's nothing that he can't do that will make MJ the GOAT. They're so close. Yeah, it's going to be an argument forever. But we'll show our cases right now.
Yeah, so I mean, just jumping into it, obviously you go regular season points. That's just not even close. It won't be close. Jordan didn't play enough. LeBron by next year is literally going to have the most points of all time. He's going to pass up Kareem. The way he's going, he could end his career with 70,000 points. The guy is honestly not aging.
He could play till he's 50 or 60.
So
that's going to be the case for any total points, total rebounds. LeBron's going to take those just because he played so much more than Michael. And I feel like that's one of the main things that makes him the GOAT in my eyes is his longevity.
Yeah.
Like, he's played almost 25% more than Michael did, and he's still playing.
And he's still going. So like you were saying, I mean, you go off total points, all that stuff. The one thing that I do have to go ask you is, do you think 30-point seasons mean anything? Because I know MJ Bron has never averaged. He has never crossed the threshold of 30-point games in a season.
I don't think so. I'm looking here. 15 out of 19 seasons, he's averaged 25. So he's still getting his scoring, and he averages more assists than Michael almost every season. So it's like we've known this. Michael's more of a scorer. LeBron's more of a passer. Yeah. So I don't think 30-point games really means too much when 25-point games is only 5 points less. So it's impressive, but
and so when you're talking about a scoring and stuff like that and shooting, some crazy number I saw as well is all off like playoffs. Okay. And the big knock on LeBron is free throws. Okay. Jordan's playoff free throw percentage was 83%. LeBron sitting a little under 74%.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of been the case their whole careers. Michael's just always been a better free throw shooter. LeBron, I don't know,
does that show that the line? And don't you think that's kind of GOAT material?
I don't think so. I have another stat that might say the opposite. If you look at points per field goal attempt, so every time they shoot, how many points they score, that actually leans towards LeBron. So that takes into account everything: 2-pointers, 3-pointers, free throws. Every time both of them shoot the ball, LeBron scores 0.07 points more. So if you average that to how many shots MJ took over his whole career, LeBron's scoring 2 more points per game. So Michael just shot more. LeBron's a more efficient shooter.
No, and to go, something that everyone always brings up as well, which this is where I am on the LeBron side, is first round exits. Okay. Jordan's got 3, LeBron only 1. Okay. And obviously we can bring up finals. We'll bring those up. LeBron 4 and 6. What's Jordan? 6 and 0. Okay. That's what everyone says. But my biggest thing to those people who say that, Dad, if you're listening, you're one of these. It's always the 6 and 0, 6 and 0. However, MJ has more first round exits. He has done worse in playoffs when he's gone in. He has never won without Scottie Pippen. Okay. Which to me is kind of incredible. He needed his wingman. LeBron's made it to 10 finals. So what would you rather do? Him? Because that Cavs team, when he first made it the first few years in the league, come on, they were not going to win. As much as LeBron could do, they weren't going to win. So for LeBron's legacy later on, if he could have fast forwarded, it would have been better if he was a first round exit and they would have lost. See, that's what these people are thinking, which to me is mind-boggling, because you would rather make it to the finals, give yourself a shot. It's like, look at Joe Burrow. Let's say Joe Burrow heads back and ends up getting these Super Bowls, whatever. Are people going to hold him on the first loss? I mean, it's just,
yeah. I mean, they will. They'll say, "Oh, he lost in the Super Bowl." They would have rather him not even made the Super Bowl. They would have rather him lost in the first round or not make the playoffs.
Why do you think that is? Yeah, do you think it's just because people love seeing just strict wins? Like, they
think if you don't win in the finals, you're not clutch. But it's like you got to be clutch to win in the first round too. It's still a playoff series.
Yeah,
like you're still not clutch.
Yeah,
if you lose in the first round. I think the 6-0, 4-6 thing is completely wrong. It should be, I don't know, 6-12 and 4-15. Every year that they don't win the finals should be a loss for them. Even though they're not losing the finals, they're not winning the finals, Yeah. So every time they don't win it, it should be a loss. And that still benefits Michael. He's still won more and lost less than LeBron, but it's a lot closer than 6-0 versus 4-6.
Yeah, but he is better on it.
He is.
But what are your thoughts though of, a lot of people like to see some stay with the same team, do all that stuff. However, LeBron has bounced and he has won wherever he has gone. Michael, he could not make it past Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons. He was getting beat up by them, getting beat up by a lot of people until he got Scotty. Now, not saying MJ couldn't have won with other people. I think he was a good enough player. However, that I think is the biggest thing, where LeBron's biggest, I think, thing that hurts him the most is the 2011 finals.
No, I agree.
That to me is his one that kills him. The other ones don't hurt as bad.
Yeah, I mean the other ones were against the incredible Warriors team, probably the best team we've ever seen in NBA history, and against the Spurs, who were a very solid team under Popovich when they had Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. So it's like those are decent losses, but losing to the Mavericks, they're a good team, but
I think LeBron made it up by beating a team that went 73-9. I mean, I don't think there could have been any other player in NBA history that mentally could have brought. I mean, that was one of the most amazing things. So that's where it does put LeBron up there and does make up, I think, for that. If he would have lost that, man, 3-7 in the finals, that's another story.
Now, I agree with what you're saying, though, that Michael definitely benefited from staying with the same team. And it was kind of a super team back then. I think if LeBron's best team he ever played on was probably the Heat team with Bosh and Wade. If he could have had that team while everyone was in their primes for 8-9 years, I think he wins more than 4, maybe 5 or 6. So it's
but do you why do you think MJ was on a super team? Scottie Pippen was supposed to be a second. He was like a second round. He went to a
it doesn't matter what he was supposed to be.
I'm just saying,
turned out to a Hall of Famer.
Want to know why? Because he was working under Scottie or under Michael Jordan. I think if he was,
we've seen Jordan's ownership skills. They're not great. He owns the Hornets right now.
Okay, we're not switching.
He's not
subjects.
A great leader.
Okay, we're not switching subjects to that.
It's not just Scottie Pippen. He played with the Hall of Famer and Dennis Rodman. He played with a Hall of Famer and Tony Kukoc. He played with Steve Kerr, who's going to be a future Hall of Famer. It's like that's 4 other Hall of Famers that he played with the majority of the titles that he won.
Yeah, but Tony was strictly a shooter. Steve Kerr a shoot. They weren't the flashy type players. Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh are better all-around players. I feel LeBron has been on a bigger super team than MJ ever was on. And the one thing, the knock that I have on Braun as well, that I think it just isn't even close, is defense. And when we think of the GOAT, everyone's always bringing it up, the points, the this, the that. First team all defense, 9 for MJ and 5 for LeBron. And MJ has won Defensive Player of the Year.
I think that just shows that defense as a whole has gotten better in the NBA today. When you look at their defensive rating, which shows how many points they'd give up over 100 possessions, Michael barely beats him. He gives up 103 points. LeBron would give up 104. Their defensive styles are very similar. Michael has the slight edge, as he does in most categories. I'll give you that. Michael Jordan's better. If we're just looking at one career average season, MJ probably gets the edge. But it's like LeBron is so close and he has so much more. That's the reason I give LeBron the GOAT status.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel this one is the one thing that we talked about earlier today, that if you want to share it, that we were actually surprised, is the final opponent win percentage.
Yeah. So I looked this up because I thought it'd be an argument for me. I thought, LeBron's going against these 73-9 Warriors teams. He's playing the Spurs. There's no way the opponents that Michael is facing in the finals have better regular season win percentages, but they do. It's close, but it's almost a full percentage higher than LeBron's opponents. Both their opponents are winning about 75% of their regular season games. So as much as I hate to say it, the 6-0 thing that MJ did is pretty impressive because the teams he was playing aren't no slouches. Like, they were good teams.
Yeah.
Almost better than the teams LeBron was playing.
Yeah. And this is going to hurt me a little bit. But I do have to say is, when a player leaves the team, we were just talking about, I'm trying to fight Jordan's side, but personally, I'm becoming more on the Bron side of GOAT. Strictly, like Hayden says, the longevity, but also the teams go to shit when Bron's gone.
They do.
And I can say all I want about, Scotty wasn't supposed to be anything. He wasn't supposed to be. Well, they played pretty well when Jordan retired.
Yeah, no, they did. I took a look at this too. LeBron left the Cavs twice. First time when he was up with the Cavs, they won about 74% of their games. When he left, they won 23% the next year. The second time he was there, they won 61 while he was there. Next year, they won 25%. Same stats with MJ. He's there, they win 69%. He leaves, they win 67%. So it's like, that's kind of eye-opening. When LeBron leaves the team, they go from first in the East to last in the East. When MJ leaves, they go from first in the East to second in the East.
Now, obviously, they did not make it to the finals. With Jordan, they probably could have done something like that. But to see the win percentage is just baffling.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make cases all day. I think these are two of, few players that we could say can play in any era.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone always talks about that. People bring up Steph. Could Steph play in other eras? That one's tough because he can shoot, but the defense has gotten softer in the sense of back in the day, they could check you. I mean, they were kind of checking
hard screens.
So would have he been able to get the space? I still think he is a good enough shooter. He would have been amazing there.
Okay? And he just moves without the ball so well too.
Yeah,
he's so tough to guard.
Now, would have he been getting the open shot? Would have he? I don't think he'd be as great as he is in today's NBA, just because it does allow him to get the space he needs because people are scared of fouls. But LeBron and MJ today could play him today. Not the best shooter, but look at what DeMar DeRozan does. Okay, I almost look at those two as very similar styles of play, in the sense of mid-range game is a killer. Okay, and you still have that. And so this is going to be one that goes back and forth. But I am also with Hayden, where the GOAT, you got to go longevity as well. That's part of the GOAT. Tom Brady, that's why there's no one even close to him. Okay. Even if people may get, five, let's say someone gets 5 straight Super Bowls, they're just not the GOAT. What Tom Brady did from age 22 to age 4, I mean, it'll never be done.
No, he's kind of like a combo of LeBron and MJ too. He has the longevity of LeBron and the awards and the wins that MJ has. I know he lost a couple Super Bowls to Eli, but the majority of the ones he went to, he won. And he had a good career for 20 plus years. Yeah. So there's never going to be another Tom Brady.
Yeah. And obviously you look at it and MJ wins pretty much every one of the scoring titles. You go scoring, MJ is going to take out LeBron in that. The thing that, to me, though, that is pretty amazing with LeBron is he does actually have an assist title.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of people may, think that's crazy we're bringing that up. But as a person at his position, small forward. This year he's played up the
he's
center. Okay.
He's not a point guard.
And for him to win an assist title in the NBA with
Chris
not
Paul
any scrubs,
in the NBA
I was gonna say,
during his whole career.
With Chris Paul throughout his whole career pretty much. And during part of that, you had Jason Kidd, who's top 5 in assists. Chris Paul's going to be one of the greatest passers of all time by the time he's done. And then you add Rajon Rondo, who has been here for quite a while as well. So it's just those little stats like that.
Yeah, like another little stat, like LeBron's 5-0 as an all-star coach. MJ has 0 wins. So, I mean, that alone.
You know, I think that's so stupid.
That alone.
But,
also, LeBron doesn't own one of the worst franchises in the NBA history. So
okay, I'll be honest with this. Where you're bringing this up, I can't even believe we're talking about it. But is it amazing to you that, because obviously MJ is not the general manager, he doesn't make all the decisions, okay, but you know the type of mentality he has. He must have his hands in something, right? Like the LaMelo Ball, him drafting, he was part of all that. Are you amazed they're as bad as what they are? Like for as long as the Hornets?
Yes and no. It's just such a small market. I think if he had purchased a bigger market, I know it would have costed more, but they would have been way more successful. It's hard to convince a top tier free agent to come play for the Hornets, especially before LaMelo was there. Like, I actually like that team now. They're a fun team. LaMelo's rolling.
But a lot of it is all through drafts, you know, and then obviously Terry Rozier. But here's the thing I go back to is, let's say the Russell Wilson trade, okay? Who is the head of football operations for the Broncos? It's John Elway. And people say that he got Peyton Manning there. He has gotten a lot of players come there. And Denver's not a huge market, okay?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, a lot of people know, you know, but they won Super Bowls. Okay, it was in the Elway era. Okay, he got drafted there. He somehow loved it there, stayed. He has now been able to lure players to come. And it's his charisma. I just wonder, you saw in like the documentaries and stuff of MJ, he was kind of a dick at some points.
Yeah. Kind of a dick. He kind of just stays out of the spotlight now. You don't really see him too often.
So I wonder if that may rub off on some people coming. I have no idea.
It could be. And it would just be a lot of pressure to play in front of the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
Like, he's at every one of your games. He pays you, you know?
No, so
that's a lot of pressure.
It's interesting. I think everyone should kind of let us know what they think of this episode, because me and you, I think it's an argument that we could go on forever. We just kind of wanted to,
and we see both sides. Like,
100%.
All for arguments from either side. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against LeBron. It's hard to argue against Jordan, strictly because LeBron's going to end his career where he's nearly top 10 in every major statistical category. He's top 10 in points, close in rebounds, close in assists. Like that is, to me, unreal. And then he just drops 56. And I'm telling you right now, even if LeBron James does not win a championship this year, but makes it into the Western Conference Finals, that will be one of the most unbelievable feats of his career, because he has never had the noise around a team. Usually his teams are kind of quiet. Okay.
Yeah, honestly,
the noise that is around this team and around Russell Westbrook, around Anthony Davis's injury, if there is some way, and it scared me watching him doing that 56 points, because I think he's locked in already. I think LeBron James is in that playoff mode and knows, and we're going to be right here watching it.
He said it himself. Like, if he's not out of it, like, he's got a chance. Like, until he's out, like, don't count him out, you know?
Yeah.
He's always got a shot. It doesn't matter who's around him. That dude just has the will to win sometimes.
Okay, so to wrap this up, we're just going to end with, who's your GOAT?
I'm going LeBron. The longevity is unmatched. Nobody's been this consistently good for as long as him, and I don't think anyone will.
Yep.
Who you got?
I honestly have to go LeBron James as well. Never been on that side, but I think he has done it. It's the media is never going to say it because it's hard. Jordan sells way more shoes than LeBron. He's still the most popular basketball player. He sells like 20 times more shoes. It's unreal.
Yeah.
But you go off basketball, he's been passed. He's got to hand it. So yeah, I believe that it is LeBron James now.